Okay, so here is Vernon's best, and Vernon is a truly exceptional 16-3 hand. Now he's considered a 6-year-old because he's a 2021 thoroughbred gelding by Dynamic Racer, and he's out of a Midnight Loop mare. And he had his last start on 11/25. He had 29 career starts, and now he's been with me for probably about 2 weeks. And I have spent a ton of time with this horse. When he came, I mean, first of all, it's obvious that the horse is exceptional. That doesn't really need any explaining. And the second you see him take a trot step, it's just like, wow, he is incredible and he's so talented. But when he came, he was just sort of, I think he was just sort of overwhelmed, and riding him was like trying to make a cooked noodle straight. It was very difficult, and he was not trying to do anything wrong, but he just seemed like he had so much noise going on in his head that he just couldn't quite even hear me. So we did the only thing you really can do, which is that we went super, super slow and we chipped away at it a little bit every day. And now he's at this point where he's going beautifully, and I'm just absolutely thrilled with him. And now he feels crystal clear in his brain. He's listening to me, he's processing, he's not distracted by everything else. He fully understands the expectations of straightness, of turning, steering left and right, doing all the things. And it's actually just been so rewarding because obviously it's nice and it's fun and it's easy when the horses are just, absolutely perfect from ride one. But it really is rewarding to have a horse who's so special come in and just need some work and need some time and patience just to figure out what he's supposed to do and how he's supposed to use himself. And he's just progressed a little bit every single time I've worked with him. I mean, he's just had such a linear trajectory since he got here. Every single time I take him out, he's a little bit better. And today he was so good. I had planned on doing this video today because I'd worked with him the last couple of days and he was fantastic. So I just knew we were in for a really good ride today. I hadn't planned on introducing him to pulls yet. However, he flatted so nicely and easily at the beginning of our ride. Like, I think our flatting walk trot canter took less than 10 minutes. So then it just seemed like an appropriate time to start introducing pulls. So we did that also. So that was the second half of the ride. And I mean, he's fantastic. Obviously, the horse is such a natural. Clearly, he has a beautiful trot. There's no doubt about that. But his canter is just unbelievable. It is so balanced and uphill, and it's like riding a cloud. It's really an awesome feeling. So there's no surprise. You would expect that he's going to have a lot of natural ability at jumping, which he does. And I think he shows that off a little bit today, as much as you can show off on the very first time that you're going over poles and things. But he was fantastic. He was very brave. And his brain is just in such a good place. He's just really maturing about all the things. And there's just not a mean bone in his body. He's always trying to do whatever the thing is you're asking him to do. And I just really couldn't be more pleased with him. I'm so happy with the progress he's made. And now that he is a straight noodle, he is actually just really easy and fun to ride. So, as young green horses like to do with their irony, the first time I asked him to canter today, we were going to the left. He picked up the right lead. So I just sort of wanted him to settle into the canter for a second. So we just kept cantering and counter canter, which I also find so amusing on him because it's just so damn easy for this horse to sit in a beautiful counter canter. Like, he has no idea that what he's doing is so lovely. He's just doing his thing and he has no clue, but he's just so cool. And then I thought we might try and sneak across the diagonal and just change directions, but he broke to the trot on the diagonal, which is fine. It's no big deal. But then the hilarious part is, and you'll see this in a second, then we're tracking to the right. I ask him to canter again, and what does he do? He picks up the left lead. These horses are so funny. But this time I was able to just sort of sneak in this turn across the diagonal and keep the canter. So then we had our left lead. And it's just worth noting that today Our high was like 30 degrees, and I rode him first this morning. It was like around 9:30 in the morning, so I think it was like 25 degrees when I rode him. So just a very cold day. And he's clipped. He's got a trace clip, and just absolutely no silly business from this horse ever. If he's going sort of crooked or not steering, it's just because he simply just doesn't understand, and he just needs some time to process. And if you watched his first video that I put out from maybe that was like a week ago, he is so much more confident now in the connection, and he's really understanding that. Obviously, there's moments where he could be rounder, but he's coming along so nicely, and I just want every ride for this horse to be a confidence inspiring positive experience. So for me, it's totally fine that he has these moments where he comes up because he's so soft in the mouth, and he is going in the right direction. So it's totally fine. And then we actually did manage to actually get the true lead. We went back to the right, asked for the right lead canter, and he did in fact give it to me like a brilliant horse. And I'm telling you, this what he's doing right here, using the whole ring and turning to the right and staying straight through that left shoulder, that took a lot of work to get him to the point where he understood, keeping his outside shoulder straight through the corner. And but now he's got it. He's rocking and rolling. His balance and his rhythm are just incredible. And then this was really good here because I could do a big inside hand give while we went through that corner. And he's just staying so relaxed, and he just fully understands now. I think it looks this way, but in case it doesn't, it's just worth saying, he's obviously super athletic and a beautiful mover, but he's not a hot horse, and he's also not super reactive or sensitive. So I'm wearing little spurs, and you do definitely get to put your leg on. And you could see when we finished our last right lead canter, the second I sort of let up, he just wants to slow right down to a walk, and actually he wanted to halt, which is sort of funny. But this is not a horse that's racing around with you or trying to be super hot. He's definitely not that. Doing these polls and things, this is really the true test of, did you get the horse straight? Did you get the horse steering? Because obviously you're not going to be able to do this if you don't have steering and rideability. And actually, he really liked, I mean, I don't know if we would call this jumping, his introduction to ground poles. He really liked it though. He had a couple of minutes not minutes, a second here and there where he got a little bit excited, and I think he thought it was fun, which is great. I want that. When they have those little moments where they sort of prance or just show that they're having a good time. I love that. Here, if I'm remembering this correctly, we're going to the flowers for the first time, and his rider did just a terrible job of keeping with the motion. Terrible riding. Excellent horse. So when we come back around, we do it a little bit better. Still a little bit of an over jump. His rider managed not to be quite so awful. So then here's our third time back again. And then that was quite perfect. Such a good boy. It's kind of cool when you see the over jump because they're showing that they have the right instincts, but I really don't want him to be over jumping ground poles. We want him to just think that ground poles are easy and to practice making a good shape, but we don't want him jumping 3 foot in the air over a ground pole. So it was good that he sort of settled quickly into the expectation of just having a nice canter step over the ground pole. And then his canter is just so exceptional that right away I felt like, so here's a little exciting moment. He's having fun. So right away I felt like we could just start cantering to things, which is kind of a big ask because we've just sort of figured out cantering on the right lead to begin with. And then I'm asking him to canter things, but he was very honest and good there to sort it out and do some quick footwork and make it happen. Every time I take a walk break, we're just walking over things. So now we're just going to do the same thing to the left. And he sort of does the same thing to the left that he did to the right the first time, a little bit of an over jump in the other direction. I managed to not suck as badly as I did the first time to the right. And then this felt like a really nice balanced canter, so I just thought that we would start cantering some poles, and actually there he managed to add up, which is unbelievable. What a good boy. Very good boy. It's crazy, but he's already a little bit adjustable, which is just so amusing and fantastic. Super good effort in the canter. That was fantastic. It just looks to me, and it certainly felt in the moment, like he's understanding the question a little bit more. And then so we just did it one last time here. Such a nice canter. And then perfect. What a good boy. Couldn't have been better. So I was just thrilled with him. I mean, what a fantastic horse. So smart. So here he is on cross ties. When he came, he was also a little confused about this whole notion of standing on cross ties. So if you watched his first video, you saw in the cross tie footage that actually Billy was standing at his head, and we were in the process of teaching him how to stand on cross ties. And so now he has graduated to not needing someone to stand at his head. And he's actually really figuring this out. He's standing nicely on cross ties. He's very sweet. He's trying so hard. And he's adorable. So anyway, I left a pretty long little cross tie clip here just so you could see how he's coming along on the ground and what he's like to interact with.